Michael Oliveri starts every day with a nauseous stomach and a hit of marijuana. The nausea comes from decades of medical treatments for his muscular dystrophy. The weed comes from California.
Dankeschön, John. Is there any water in here?
Last year, Michael moved from New Jersey to California so he could legally access medical marijuana. He says it's the best medication he's found for his constant pain and nausea. But until New Jersey makes it legal, visits like these, for his sister's wedding, won't come often.
Not every medication works for everybody, and medical marijuana is just another option. For people who are finding relief from marijuana, they're living in fear of prosecution because they're forced to break the law to access the medicine that best relieves their suffering.
There's bipartisan support for a medical marijuana bill in New Jersey, but there's also controversy. People who are against the bill say it's a thinly veiled effort to legalize drugs for recreational use. And the lawmakers are falling for it.
They are basically using sick people to further their agenda of drug legalization. They use the word compassion a lot. And nobody can be against compassion. I'm certainly not against compassion. But this is not compassionate. This is allowing an untested medication to be used by a variety of people who are sick and who might be making them sicker. Where are the studies saying what is the proper dose for seizures? And seizures are mentioned in the bill, multiple sclerosis.
I just hold it in for a few seconds. Immediately I feel it working. My eyesight gets better, my pain gets less, and my balance improves 100%.
Many patients use a vaporizer to inhale the marijuana because it doesn't have the harmful effects of smoking. The vapor is odorless and delivers a concentrated hit of THC. That's the active ingredient in marijuana.
When I exhale, it's like the pain is going out. And then I do another puff, and I hold it, because that's what they tell you, and then I exhale. And then in the beginning, when I first do it, I can stand up, I can walk without pain, I can bend over and pick up things. You know, I have MS, I still have the dead leg that I'm dragging around, I still have feet that don't work, but I feel fantastic at first because it just kind of leaves my body. And then slowly over the next couple of hours, it starts to creep back in again.
People like Chuck and Nancy say it's terrifying to buy marijuana illegally. But they take the risk because the payoff is worth it. After inhaling marijuana, Chuck can enjoy time with his family and play with his daughters.
See, with kids, there's a lot to do. Thank God I'm medicated, because I'd be out here shaking doing this.
It's hard not to be swayed by stories like these. And the people who oppose medical marijuana, they're the first to admit it. David Evans is a cancer survivor. And though he's never used medical marijuana, he did support it at first. But after researching the dangers, he feels people are basing their decisions on emotions, not facts, because the FDA hasn't tested it.
Individual patients may honestly believe that it's helpful to them. God bless them. I know what it's like to get a diagnosis and to be afraid that you're going to die. I understand that. I've been in a cancer ward. I've had surgery, radiation. I get that, okay? People need to look beyond the initial compassion argument and look at what is true compassion. True compassion is giving people safe medicines.
I've tried morphine derivatives. They make me very nauseous. The codeine derivatives, they bind me.
The medication will shorten a person's temper, and when you add antidepressants to it, it can give you an explosive temper.
See, the thing about marijuana, there's no side effects. I don't even get stoned. If that's a side effect, I don't know if that's bad. I suppose it's good. A lot of people like it.
You don't want it to be a stony kind of like, dude, like, I can't do anything, man. Like, you don't want to be like that. You want to actually be like a normal person.
Can it help some people? There's no doubt in my mind. There may be a handful within this state that could benefit from it. However, you're creating an entire industry for those few people. I wish somebody would come up with a bill that would target simply those people, because it's unfortunate that this bill is being sponsored by the people who are interested in opening a door to legalization in New Jersey.
I would ask the advocates of this, why not go through the FDA process? What are you afraid of?
I'd love that. But the FDA, the federal government, is like not touching it.
The states are, grounds for social policy change, and we're trying to send a message to the federal government that says you do need to address this, you do need to do more research. 13 states have already done this and sent a message saying, we're going to treat sick and dying people with the compassion they deserve, and if this is the medicine that best relieves their suffering, why not?
But people say dispensaries like this one in California are the reason why not. They say the law is wildly abused and has basically legalized marijuana for everyone.
I use medical marijuana because I have arthritic gout. I have a very high uric acid count.
I broke my leg a long time ago in a car accident.
Here's the thing, though. With quantity comes quality. Patients say California growers have perfected strains that target different symptoms.
Physical pain, anxiety, sleeping disorder.
It's funny going from the streets to having it in a store now, you know what I mean? It's just, the transition is it feels funny, but this is the closest we've ever seen it to being legal in my life, you know what I mean?
Eventually, the whole United States is going to turn into like California. We're just leading the process, and New Jersey will be another state that transfers to legalizing marijuana.
But where will all these dispensaries be located? Would you want to live next door?
You can see, compared to this truck, these plants are 6 feet tall, 3, 4, 5 feet wide. Yeah, I wouldn't like to have marijuana growing operations in my neighborhood.
Wherever these dispensaries have popped up in the past, in the states that have allowed it, crime has increased. And when crime increases in a particular area, the quality of life goes down. People are robbed. There's street corner dealing that goes on around these facilities. It creates an excessive burden on law enforcement.
The New Jersey bill is dramatically different from the California law. Our law would actually be the most restrictive law in the country when it comes to who would be able to access marijuana, how much marijuana would they be able to access.
But it's not enough for anti-drug activists. They say pot can be a gateway drug for kids, and legalizing it for medical reasons is going to send the wrong message. Kids will think the drug is harmless, or even a good thing, and they'll be attracted to the popular edible candy products.
This is medicinal peanut butter. This is Butterfinger. These all look like candy bars. Mr. Greenbud candy bar. This is medical marijuana.
Those pictures are really just scare tactics. There is no evidence to show that marijuana use among youth has increased, even in states which have medical marijuana laws. That's just not the case.
I mean, I could abuse Percocet. They can't stop me. I could go to my doctor and say, Percocet helps me so much, can I have a script? And they'll give me a script just like that. And I can fill it and abuse it and fill it and abuse it and go on and on and on and literally kill myself eventually.
I've been to a zillion doctors, and it's just been I've been a guinea pig for a lot of different things. And I'm way too tired, and I have no tolerance and no patience for any law that doesn't make any sense, especially when there's alcohol abuse and tobacco abuse and pharmaceutical drug abuse. I will not participate in that. No, I won't die for that.
Still, Michael's parents were horrified when he started using marijuana.
I'm like, wait a minute. No, absolutely no. It's illegal. Let's go to the doctors. And I did the journey of doctors with him. Every epidural.
27. They looked at me and they said, you don't feel any different?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no.
Marijuana is not a cure for these illnesses. It allows people to withstand chemotherapy treatments. It allows people to relieve suffering and pain, and there's evidence to support that.
Let's just say you had a pharmaceutical company that didn't want to spend the millions of dollars to get a drug approved, and they decided to get a legislator and get some people that they've given this drug to and get these people to come forward and say, this drug was the best thing, it really, really helped me. And they spread a lot of money around, did a public advertising campaign, got this drug approved in the state legislature, because they didn't want to go through the FDA process. Would you approve of that? Would anybody approve of that? No. You would say that that was a reckless public policy because you're allowing a state legislature to decide what is a medicine rather than going through our drug approval process that's protected us for 100 years.
The majority of this legislation is for those who are going to be casual users and don't really need it. It may be very well intended, but in its current form, it's overly broad. It's just rife for abuse.